In this video, we shall find the sufficient statistics for estimating alpha beta given the general beta distribution. Solution. For more on this topic, you need to subscribe to this channel. The factorization theorem is used to explain the sufficient statistics, or it can be used to find the sufficient statistics. And what does the factorization theorem state? The factorization theorem states that, in this case we have alpha beta, that for a statistics to be sufficient, it must be factored out into two components. And these two components for this case can be written as alpha beta into u x1, x2, xn alpha beta multiplied by h x1, x2, xn. So this is one component. Of course, this one depends on alpha beta. This other component does not depend on alpha beta. Now, we are given the given. The first thing to do is to find the likelihood function. Yes, for we to split this into two components, we say take the likelihood or product sum. To take the likelihood of product sum of the given function, of the given beta distribution. So if we are given f of x alpha beta to be equal to alpha plus beta all over alpha and beta, we have x alpha minus 1 and 1 minus x beta minus 1. So if we take the likelihood function of what is given, the likelihood function can be written as this f of x alpha beta. So it then means that we are taking the likelihood function of the given function. So it then means that taking the likelihood function, we'll have it as x alpha beta to be equal to alpha plus beta, this is the first one, alpha beta x1 alpha minus 1, then 1 minus x beta minus 1 multiplied by alpha plus beta all over alpha beta x alpha minus 1, then 1 minus x 1 2 beta minus 1 multiplied by, it continues, multiplied by, we now have alpha plus beta all over alpha beta. We have this as xi's raised to the power of 1 minus alpha minus 1 into 1 minus xi's beta minus 1. So this is what we get. It then means we can now write our likelihood function to be, to move over to this side of the board. We can now write it to be Our function will now be f of x alpha beta to be equal to alpha plus beta all over alpha beta summation of x i's as alpha minus 1 ironing from 1 to n into 1 minus x i's to summation of 1 minus x i's beta minus 1. Of course, you can still open this to be equal to alpha plus beta all over alpha beta multiplied by summation. We can split this of x i's alpha multiplied by summation of x i's minus 1 into, if you solve the constant, you get n. You have n summation of x i's then beta minus 1. So we can write this out properly. That means our f x alpha beta will be equal to alpha plus beta all over alpha beta summation of x i's alpha n minus summation of x i's beta minus 1 multiplied by summation of x i's minus 1. So, of course, the whole of this function can be written as phi into alpha beta mu x1 x2 to xn to alpha beta, because it depends on alpha beta, multiplied by h x1 x2 to xn. Of course, that function can still be written out properly. Of course, this one is part of the component that depends on alpha beta, while this does not depend on alpha beta. So we conclusively write it here. For more on this topic, you need to subscribe to this channel. So we can conclusively write this same thing as phi alpha beta mu summation of x i's, as this depends on alpha beta, multiplied by h x1 x2 to xn. So it then means that our summation of xi is a sufficient statistics for estimating alpha beta given the general beta distribution. So this is how we can compute. This is how we can compute the sufficient statistics for the general beta distribution. For more on this topic, you need to subscribe to this channel.